welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting another week in the life PhD student edition, and this one I'm gonna get up way earlier. I just posted my winter one, and now it's May, so yeah, it's been a rough semester. I've just been struggling to stay on top of things like outside of school work stuff. It just has felt like really hard. I don't know exactly why, but I talked a little bit about it a few weeks ago. So yes, I wanted to do a more like spring current vibes week in the life. And this is kind of an interesting time too, because it's like the very end of the semester, meaning like grades are due this week. Last week was finals week, and grades are due this week. And graduation is, I think, the end of this week. So that often doesn't actually affect me at this point, because if you are not familiar, if you're new, I am in my 5th year in my PhD program, and I have already done my like comps and everything, my comprehensive exams. So I'm pretty much like, I'm done with coursework and I'm just working on my research at this point. But this semester I am on a TA, so a teaching assistantship. So I'm teaching, or this semester I'm actually just a TA for a friend who's teaching a lab, and I do have a little bit more grading since grades are due this week. So that is like my priority for today, because I really want to get that finished. It'll probably be today and a little bit of tomorrow is my guess. And other than that, this morning I have a UPR, Utah Public Radio meeting, because I am a science reporter for them. We have a meeting, and since it's also the end of the semester, we have like a little potluck type thing today, midday. So, and I have a couple stories I'm working on for UPR this week, so I'll probably work on both of those. And then other than that, starting probably Wednesday through Friday, I'm really gonna prioritize some data analysis. So I think in my last video, I was working on writing, and I've been doing that for a while, but that paper that I was working on is pretty much finished. It's going through edits right now. So it's always like a really long process, and it's way longer than I anticipate every time too. So yes, I'm going to be working on data analysis, particularly for my second chapter, but there's another chapter that I wanted to do some preliminary analysis for as well. So, and I've already done this analysis before, but I need to do it like a final time that I'm going to like write up in the next couple of weeks and be like ready and done. So that's something I've really struggled with in my PhD, and I don't know if anyone can relate, but I really struggled with like feeling confident and like finishing my chapters. So I have done a lot of work for others, and usually I can feel like fine about that. I do a lot of side projects and things that are not my major dissertation chapters, but I've really struggled with like finishing and being confident in my analysis, and then like the final paper and writing it. And it's because a lot of that work I think is like done on your own, or at least it has been for me. So that's tough. I also am doing some stuff that I do have some people on my committee and my advisor who has some input and some knowledge on, but it's also not really their expertise, particularly in like the microbiome stuff I'm working on. I don't think I've touched too much about my actual dissertation. I'll do that later, hopefully, maybe when I defend. But yeah, so I don't, my major advisor, her like expertise is not microbiome stuff, so that has been a real challenge for me to feel like I'm like confident and like doing the right thing. It's also when there's data analysis, I just feel like it's like something else that you have to be like good at, even though it's like not necessarily your field, if that makes sense. So I don't feel like an expert, and I feel like I've taken quite a few classes and done a lot, and I still feel like really not confident often in data analysis. So I really am going to be spending quite a bit of time working on that this week. I have one of my community members lent me this book, R for Data Science, and so I think I'm going to just like as a refresher, because it's been a little bit, I'm going to go through some of this and just like make sure, I don't know, see what I can do to make myself feel more confident. But yeah, imposter syndrome is always a thing in any field, but I've definitely struggled with it in grad school a lot. So that's the plan for this week. Again, it's like a weird week semester-wise, but I think it should be a good week, and I wanted to vlog it because I felt like it would be fun. It's really starting to be spring here, finally. It literally snowed up until like maybe like a week and a half ago or something. It was crazy. It snowed just so much this year. So yeah, the other reason I wanted to vlog is it's a little bit more of a chill week. Like once I get this grading done, I think it's going to be a little bit more chill, which will be nice. And so I set myself a reading goal, which I feel like is kind of ambitious, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to talk about it this evening, I think, like once I get to like some time to read. So it might be too ambitious, but I'm very excited about it. Yeah, I will see you in a little bit. Good morning. I'm really tired though. I think it's just like being out in the sun and not having been out in the sun for a while. But yeah, we had a UPR news meeting and then a little barbecue thing for the end of the semester year. And then because a couple of like the interns there are graduating and stuff, so that's kind of why we're doing that. Oh, there's Hazel. Now I'm home. I gotta do my work, but I'm really tired. I might take a little break and do some reading. But I first thought I'll talk a little bit about my outfit. It's feeling very spring. These earrings I found on Poshmark. I have absolutely no idea where they're from. They're really cute though. Just like vintagey, I don't know, basket earrings. And then this sweater, it is way too freaking hot for. I was just like boiling out there. I think it's like English Factory a couple years ago. Skirt is from Hill House, and I love this skirt. It's like green wrap mini skirt. So cute. And then my shoes are my favorite part of the outfit. Nice. It's like hard to show. They're so cute. I'll show the pattern close up. They are Schumacher's collaboration with Margot. I think that's the shoe company. Yeah. I really love Schumacher though. They do like wallpapers and fabric-y stuff like that, and they just have really cool designs. And I tried for so long to get my hands on these sneakers. Took a really long time, and I freaking love them. I don't wear them a ton actually, but I feel like it's more because I'm really scared of getting them dirty, which usually is not a problem I have, but I just love this pattern so much. I don't want anything to happen with it. These dogs. We're dog sitting for my friend's dog, so she's around, loves playing fetch, and there's Hazel. They like constantly just think we're gonna take them outside and play or go for it, you know what. So my reading challenge this week, I'm really nervous about it because I'm like, I don't know, now that it's here, can I do this? But I've been reading so many series lately that are just like really long and kind of daunting, which has been really great. I like them, but I also kind of just like want to be able to like get through some things, and I feel like it's been hard because I don't know, I'm just like in these like series, kind of like feels never ending. Took out some toys here, we'll see how that goes. So my goal for this week, crazy as it is to read 5, which is crazy, 5 like short books. Now I know like page wise I could probably do, even with work, like 100 to 200 pages a day. But that's like if I'm not doing anything else in the evenings. And it depends on the book. So I chose some short books that I'm hoping I can get through them all by the end of the week. But I'm also not 100% sure I'm gonna be able to do that. Everything is under 200 pages. I think, let's see, the shortest one, we'll start with that, Miss Ice Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami. Very excited about this one. How many pages? This is the shortest. It's like 90 pages, 92 pages. And the longest, I actually think, is this Griefer's book. And I want to say it's like 204 pages. That's what we got going on. I'm gonna just quickly, I'm not gonna talk too much about them because I'll do that when I like read them. But the first was Miss Ice Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami. We have Grievers by Adrienne Marie Brown. We also have Skin Folk by Nalo Hopkinson, which is, I believe, short stories. This one I think is like post-apocalyptic. These two I both got from, I'm gonna like link it, but it's a bookshop in Salt Lake. It's an independent bookshop. It's called like The Umbrella, I think, like that. Really cute queer bookshop, really cool place to visit. And then what else we have? We have The Past is Red by Catherine Valenti. Very excited about this one too. I think it's also kind of post-apocalyptic-y, so I'm gonna probably not start with these two because I just finished Wanderers, which is a really long, like 800-page book that is like post-apocalyptic, pandemic-y. I think this one's also pandemic related. So I'm gonna like pause on that because I just read one. I'll read those like later in the week. My fifth book, which I will probably start with this one, is Untold Night and Day by Bei Sua. And so yeah, so I'm gonna start with this. Maybe just read a few pages now, have some coffee or something, kind of get me going for the rest of the day. But I'll just read the back for this because I don't really know much about it. Finishing her last shift at Seoul's only audio theater for the blind, Kim Ayami heads into the night with her former boss, searching for a missing friend. The following day, she looks after a visiting poet, a man who is not as he seems. Unfolding over a night and a day in the sweltering summer heat, their world's order give way to chaos, the edges of reality start to fray, and the past intrudes on the present in increasingly disorienting ways. Untold Night and Day is a hallucinatory feat of storytelling from one of the most radical voices in contemporary Korean literature. So, very excited. It sounds very up my alley, so I'm very excited about that. And I think that I will just start there. Try reading a little bit. I'm gonna show the dogs because this is so funny. But yeah. Ooh, shoes. Look at that. Tuesday. Went for super comfy, giant, long sleeve shirt and some bike shorts today. Although, because I thought I was gonna be here, all day, just like working, grading, doing some reading. But I just remembered I need to go to campus, go to the UPR studio to grab a recorder for a story that I have to go cover tomorrow morning. So I have to go do that real quick before I get back into grading. But I did want to hop on, check in while I'm eating my breakfast. I'm having chia pudding. I put oat milk in mine, and usually a bit of maple syrup and a fruit of some kind. Today is bananas. And I put the hemp hearts in there. I usually also put other things, but right now I'm kind of like out of some things. I'm having some tea. Trying to drink less coffee, more tea. I did have a cup this morning, but now I'm having some Earl Grey. So the real reason that I wanted to check in though, because I did finish the first book today, this morning, Untold Night and Day, and it was super good. Hard to even explain, one of those books. So it's really short. I think it was like 150 pages, and I did tab a few things. How to even explain? I like said like a mini description of the back, so I won't like go too much into it. I'll just like give kind of my reaction, and just like a quick reminder, it is about this woman, Ayami, and she works at this like audio theater for the blind, and it's just about this like one night and day that happens. Everything is very surreal. To me, it had a very like dreamlike quality, so I don't know, very strange. Did not know like what was real and what was not, like imagined. It is magical realism, so there's a lot of like very surreal, strange things that are happening, and it was almost like difficult to even understand like what was like the plot and what was like being imagined. But I also thought it was really good. I like that kind of thing where like you don't really know entirely what's going on. The thing it reminded me of was the Iliac Crest, which I read maybe like last fall, but this is like way more surreal, but it gave me like kind of similar vibes. So anyway, very surreal. Everything was very like circular and like connected. It's so hard to even describe. Just very circular, dreamlike quality. Everything connects to everything else in some way, or is like described in a very similar way, which adds to like the whole not really knowing like what is real and what is not. But I highly enjoyed it, really enjoyed the writing, and would love to see and read more from this author. And I read the translator's note at the back, which was really interesting and informative. And the same translator has translated, I think, many of her other works. So I'd be really interested in reading some of her other stuff at some point. So yeah, first one was definitely a win. Very surreal. I will say it was actually a really good strategy, I think, to sit down and read this pretty much all in one go. I read the first like 20 pages yesterday, whenever, but then I ended up stopping and like doing some other stuff and working, and then I read the whole rest of it this morning. And the thing is because it's so real and circular, I feel like you get really lost if I like stopped and came back to it, like even if I like went to pee or something like that. So recommend just like sitting and reading it in one sitting, because I feel like things like made more sense and it was like easier to see like all the connections and everything like that. So Untold Night and Day. And I don't know if I'll have any more time to read today. I have a lot to do, and I'm covering the story tomorrow, so it's gonna be really busy, but we shall see. I have an idea of which one I want to start next, but yeah, I'll check in a little bit.
It's all in our hands, this life of time that's given to us all. It gathers round each night, each morn. We watch it pass and grow. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands.
done for the day, and it is 10:45. I spent so much of today grading, but I'm done for the semester with like TA grading stuff. So that's like really exciting. I just submitted grades, and yeah, so that's like a big win. I feel like I can relax a little bit, although I do have a lot of other stuff for my dissertation. So there is that. But I have to wake up super early tomorrow morning because I have to be at an airport at 6:30 a.m. and I'm covering something for Utah Public Radio, which I'm really excited about. I think it should be really fun. It's just super early, and since I have to get there, and it takes probably like an hour to get there, I have to wake up at like 5 at the latest. So yeah, a little stressed about that. Whenever I have to like wake up for something and like be on time and there for something, I get really anxious, and oftentimes I can't sleep. So I get even more nervous trying to go to bed. Anyway, I still have to like get ready for bed, wash my face, stuff like that. But I am gonna give myself like 15-20 minutes to read, which is a tough amount of time. Usually I'd like kind of let myself read for like at least an hour at this point. But because I have to wake up so early, I'm gonna try to go to bed. But I have to choose a new book to read. And right now, I'm considering one of these. And yeah, I'm debating starting Skin Folk just because it's a short story collection, so I can like read 1 or 2 stories tonight and kind of read it intermittently. At the same time though, like I'm really feeling this one, so it makes me want to start it. I'm honestly not sure. Maybe we'll just have to see. Or maybe like I'll read the first one of this, and if I'm like not totally feeling it, I'll just switch. Because it's short stories, so this one I can kind of, I don't have to read in one sitting. But that was kind of like my idea and the intention with reading these like really short books, was like to be able to sit down and read them in like one go. And because I've been super busy and have this thing tomorrow morning, I can't do that tonight. So I'll explain more about what happens tomorrow. I'm hoping to get a little bit of footage I can put in here too. We'll see. Oh yeah, I wanted to give a really quick update. I got a little bit of book mail, which was kind of exciting because in April, I read Wanderers by Chuck Wendig, and I really love this book. So good. It's huge though. It's like 800 pages. It's about a pandemic. I have so many thoughts, which should be in my like April wrap-up video. So good. The timing of it, super weird. Like it came out and he was writing it like just before COVID, so I feel like the whole thing must have been really surreal for him. Anyway, the second one came out, I think it was just last fall in 2022, and it's called Wayward. And because I love this one so much, I actually didn't really intend on like immediately getting the next one, especially because I don't like when they don't match, and one is paperback and one is hardback. But it's not coming out till August, and I know I have like a reading plan this week, so it's gonna be really hard not to start this, but I'm thinking like maybe next week or the week after. It's freaking huge, like also 800 pages, but I'm super excited about it. I really ended up loving Wanderers, so yeah, just a quick update.
With every field and rising sea, can hear the sounds of all. And with every change we'll always be where hope's not lost but found.
just got back from the gym, feeling very sleepy. And yes, I washed my hair this morning, didn't really think about how I was going to the gym this afternoon. So, love that. But yeah, I wanted to give some updates because I took some footage, so hopefully it's all there. But so cool this morning. I did a flyover of the Great Salt Lake with this group called Eco Flights, and there were other people on there who were like some Great Salt Lake experts, so they were like sharing about the Great Salt Lake. There was this guy working on a film about the Great Salt Lake. I think on this flight I was only like news reporter, but on other flights there were other news reporters. They did like I think 5 flights total. It was so tiny. I've never been in a plane so small, but that was so fun. It was so cool. Got to see the Great Salt Lake, ask questions, and it was super cool. So yeah, by the time this vlog comes out, my story on it should be out, so I'll link that as well. And I'm not entirely sure, I actually haven't written it yet, so I think it's gonna be like a shorter piece, but that's actually what I'm gonna do. Probably one of the things I'm gonna do this afternoon is draft that. I like took care of all my audio footage, my audio footage when I came back. Yeah, sorry, Hazel is licking my hand because I'm all sweaty. But yeah, so I did some random stuff for UPR and some emails. I got back pretty early, actually, like 10 a.m. this morning, so it was really nice. And then I did some other things, had some lunch. I went to the gym. I'm trying to think, like it feels like it's been a really busy day, but now I'm like, what have I done? Okay, so I will update from last night. I started Skinfolk. This is a short story collection, and I will read the back. In Skinfolk, with 15 works ranging from science fiction to Caribbean folklore, passionate love to chilling horror, Nalo Hopkinson is at her award-winning best, spinning tales like Precious, in which the narrator spews valuable coins and gems from her mouth whenever she attempts to talk or sing. In A Habit of Waste, a self-conscious woman undergoes elective surgery to alter her appearance. Days later, she's shocked to see her former body climbing onto a public bus. In The Glass Bottle Trick, the young protagonist ignores her intuition regarding her new husband's superstitions to horrifying consequences. Hopkinson's descriptions of ordinary people find themselves in extraordinary circumstances ring true, the result of her strong evocation of place and her ear for dialect. So, really been enjoying it. I've only read the first 2, and I actually did want to like read the little blurb on the first one because I thought it was interesting. The first one was Riding the Red. The second one was Money Tree. Money Tree was a little bit longer. It was super cool. It was about this woman and her brother like disappears. He essentially like went looking for this like fortune that they had heard about as like kind of like a tale growing up. But I wanted to read this like first little blurb in this first one. Throughout the Caribbean, under different names, you'll find stories about people who aren't what they seem. Skin gives these skin folk their human shape. When the skin comes off, their true selves emerge. They may be owls. They may be vampiric balls of fire, and always, whatever the burden their skins bear, once they remove them, once they get under their own skins, they can fly. It seemed an apt metaphor to use for these stories collectively. So, I thought that was also kind of like a nice description. And yeah, we were going to try to work on that. They are short stories, so I'll still kind of like let myself pause and read something else if I'm feeling it. We shall see. But the rest of today, I'm going to work. I have a couple of work things to do. Mostly a UPR day. I have like 4 stories going on right now, which is like a lot for me because I mean, I'm not a full-time reporter. I'm mostly a PhD student, but I have a lot of stories going on right now, so I need to work on those. And we actually have a training for UPR this evening. I can't remember. It's some sort of like NPR like hosting training. So I'm gonna go to that, and yeah, otherwise I'll probably take it pretty easy. I would really like to read and get some of this work done. really bad at filming this morning, so I just hopped on here. I got up this morning pretty early because my partner had a really early meeting, so did a little bit of reading, read some disturbing stories in Skin Folk, and then I had to prepare for an interview with UPR that I had at 9:30, and I did some stuff with that, some emails, other work stuff, and then I had to pick my friend up from the bus stop. He flew in to Salt Lake super late last night and then got a bus this morning, so I had to pick him up from the bus stop and drop him off at home. And now I'm on the way back from that. I stopped at the grocery store, got some definitely too expensive fancy lunch, but yes. And I'm gonna go home, and I have to work this afternoon on a couple different things, a lot of UPR stuff. I need to do some like coding stuff for my data analysis. And what else do I need to do? Other things. This afternoon, like later, like 3-4-ish, my friend and I are gonna do some baking, so I'm really excited about that. We've been trying to do it for a really long time, and it's just like been crazy with the end of the semester, so very excited for that. And then I'll probably come home and read. Thursday nights I usually go to my friends and we watch the show together. We're actually between shows right now. We don't know what we're gonna watch next, but they're actually both gone this week. So yeah, just hanging out. Pretty uneventful week, but
It is all in our hands. It is all in our hands.
okay. I just got back from my friends. We hung out and we baked a lemon turmeric tea cake, which we have made many times. It's a New York Times recipe that I will link down below. It's really good. It has like actual slices of lemons on top of it. Delicious. My other friend, they like live together, and one of them just got back from Japan doing like a research and traveling trip, and it was so cute. She brought some things. So cute. This little folder, like giant salamander folder. Really cute little keychain. Love it. And it's in the other room, but also this little like giant salamander like chopstick rest. Really cute. So adorable. But the real reason I'm on here is I will give an actual reading update tomorrow. I'm reading 2 of the books at once, Skin Folk and Grievers, but I'll give an update later. Got a lot of book mail today, and I've really been trying not to buy books. Not doing so great, to be honest. One of the reasons is that Book Depository closed April 26th, so I made an order. Like, it really tempted me into making an order, and I did just before, like a few days before closing. So there's that. So I've got lots of books to open, and I tried to, you know, be cool about it, but I ordered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. Kind of a lot. Okay, we have In Watermelon Sugar, and I have absolutely no idea where I heard about this one, or even at this point really what it's about. I'll just read the back. Death is a place where the sun shines a different color every day, and where people travel to the length of their dreams. Rejecting the violence and hate of the old gang of the forgotten works, they lead gentle lives in watermelon sugar. In this book, Richard Brodigan discovers and expresses the mood of the counterculture generation. I don't know that much. I honestly don't even know at this point what intrigued me about this one, but there's one in Watermelon Sugar. See? You know it's not a great sign if you don't even remember some of the books that you got. Oh, I do remember this one though. Pod by Lillian Paul, and this is supposed to be, this is longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction, and it was kind of the only one. There might have been a couple, but this was one of the few that really intrigued me from the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. And I believe it's supposed to be from the point of view of a dolphin and what happens when something like bad happens within her pod of dolphins. Now, especially after ordering this, I kind of feel mixed about it. Like, on one side, I was really intrigued, but at the same time, I was thinking about it since then, and it's really interesting how much we anthropomorphize animals. I think what got me thinking about it is that in April, I was listening to An Immense World by Ed Young, which is a fantastic book, by the way. And it talks all about like how other species see the world and how different it is and how it's like almost so difficult to like visualize or understand it. I think it got me thinking about how like a book written from the perspective of an animal is like very anthropomorphized and like kind of interesting in that it's really putting human values into an animal, which is like, I don't know if that's super fair. I feel mixed about it. So there's that. I feel like I can't talk too long about these or else I'll just be here forever. The Disaster Tourist, on my list for a really long time. Also not sure where I've heard about this one. I think since then, a couple of booktubers I have mentioned it. Essentially, when catastrophe strikes, who can resist looking at the wreckage? Yona is nearing burnout working for Jungle, a sinister soul-based company that specializes in tours to ecological disaster zones. When one of Yona's bosses sexually harasses her, the company tries to bribe Yona with a free tour of Muay, an island off the coast of Vietnam known for its giant sinkhole. But she becomes trapped on the island and stumbles upon a discovery that puts her in grave danger. A blackly comic caper with real satirical bite, the disaster tourist revels in the absurdity of modern life. It is both slickly contemporary and slyly surreal. Very intrigued. I remember whenever I first heard about this book, I feel like I was so interested. It sounds like it's going to be super up my alley. And it's another pretty short one. So trying to balance out that like whole book length because I feel like this year I've been reading just such long books. Okay. Next is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I actually have a like a digital copy of this. That was an ARC that I didn't actually get to before it came out. I feel like it was like via NetGalley or something like that, but I was browsing Book Depository and I really like this cover, and I believe it's the UK cover. So that was kind of the cool thing about Book Depository is you could get the UK cover version. But I also, it's like not super sustainable to be like shipping books across the world. So yeah, anyway, I'm really intrigued by this. I was going to read it anyway because I had that version. And then I've heard really good things about it and really, really loved this cover. So I got too tempted. This was another one that I really liked the UK cover of, Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. And A Princess in Exile, Six Enchanted Cranes, An Unspeakable Curse. So, trying to keep it short. This one, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this one was shorter than it is. It's kind of long. This is Whale, Cheon Myung Kwan. That is the author, and this is actually an International Booker Prize 2023, long list and shortlisted. This one's on the shortlist because that came out a little bit ago. And I don't like super stay up to date on the prizes. Like I don't try to read all the books or anything, but I do check them and like see which ones I would be interested in reading. And this is one that caught my eye. And this is actually one, I believe it's Korean, and the author wrote it actually, I think a number of years ago, but it's shortlisted because I think it was only recently translated. Yeah, okay. So 2023 is when it was like translated, the first English publication, but it was actually originally published in 2004 in Korean. So yeah, very interested in this one. I will read the little blurb for this one. Whale is a sweeping multi-generational tale that blends fable, farce, and fantasy. Set in a remote village in South Korea, Cheon Myung-kwan's beautifully crafted novel follows the lives of three linked characters. Gambok, an extremely ambitious woman who has never recovered from the indescribable thrill she experienced when she first saw a whale crest in the ocean. Her mute daughter, Chunhua Hui, who communicates with elephants, and a one-eyed woman who controls honeybees with a whistle. Super interested in this one too. So yeah, those are the ones that I picked up at the end of Book Depository. Sad, but I don't remember why I got this one from Book Depository. I feel like I couldn't find it. And at this point, because it's shortlisted, it might become more widely available, but I think I was having trouble finding it. So yeah. Okay, Hazel and I are at the little dog park. It's been a bit since I've checked in, and I just wanted to come on here and give a little reading update. We finished Runaway Grievers by Adrienne Marie Brown. So good. I ended up really loving this book. It takes place in Detroit. It's like pandemic, post-apocalyptic, about the syndrome called H8, and it's also very much about the city, about race, about gentrification of cities, and yeah, it's really heartbreaking, sad. It's also about like isolation, loneliness. There's just so many things. There were so many good lines in there, and such like interesting, relevant commentary, my goodness, on the current state of our country, world. I think if you live or have been to Detroit, it would be even more impactful. I have not, but I still found it to be super incredible, and I'm actually really surprised I haven't heard anybody else talk about this book. It was so good. So, Grievers. Okay, so next is Skinfolk. Have not finished. About halfway, short stories. Also really good. Some are super disturbing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like short story collections are like this because there's usually some that I really like and then some that I don't, and that's kind of same goes here. But overall good. And then I'm about to start Miss Ice Sandwich by Miyako Kawakami, which is the shortest one that I'm reading this week, and same author as Breasts and Eggs and Heaven. I was gonna read the back for this one, So, a young boy returns obsessively to a supermarket sandwich counter, entranced by the beauty of the woman who works there. Her aloof demeanor and electric blue eyelids make him feel the most intense joy he's ever known. He calls her Miss Ice Sandwich, and he wants nothing more than to spend his days watching her coolly slip sandwiches into bags. But life keeps getting in the way. There's his beloved grandmother's illness and a faltering friendship with his classmate Tootie. Wry, intimate, and wonderfully skewed, Miss Ice Sandwich is a poignant depiction of the naivety and wisdom of youth, just as it is passing. So, yeah, really short. I can't even remember. Yeah, like 90, just under 100 pages. So, still hoping to finish 5, but I'm only like halfway through and it's Saturday, so I have like a day more to read. But I do have a decent amount of time to read tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, tonight we went to Costco earlier, grocery run, and tonight we have 2 parties. One is at our friend's house, a little potluck, smaller thing, and then our other friend, it's her birthday, having kind of a huge party. She like has a band and everything playing, so we'll see. Should be fun. Yeah. Okay, so I never did an actual wrap up of this video. Someone's going crazy, so this is gonna be interesting. But I just wanted to come on here, finish off this vlog. It's like a little bit later, but I did finish The Passes Read. Really loved it. It's about this girl, Tetley. She lives on the garbage patch in the ocean, and there's like huge apocalypse. The earth is covered in water, no land, and they call everybody who lived before F-wits, which is really funny. The whole thing was just funny, great. There was like a really great twist. I ended up really loving it. So Grievers and The Passes Read were my favorite from the week, but I really liked them all. I had such a good time reading these like short little books. I will say I didn't finish the last 2 stories, so I have like 20 pages left in Skinfolk, but I feel like I did a pretty decent job of reading throughout the week. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.